Hey, it's Milo Steelefox here. I was an AIESEC trainee back in 2005-2006 over in Santa Maria, and I taught at Challenger School over there. But I had an email from Gian there, maybe yesterday or today, asking for a video talking about my experience over in Santa Maria and stuff, and everything that went on with AIESEC and stuff, and saying how cool it was to have me there and stuff, which is great. And I thought that right now couldn't be a better moment to do so, just to epitomise how much that experience has changed my life, really. First of all, I'm living with this guy Felix, which goes without saying with a name like that. He's Brazilian. Anyway, this evening I had a couple of glasses of wine, so I might be a little bit erratic in what I say and stuff, but I've just spent the night at the BBC. There's my pass to show you, so. And I've just been to see a show all about music and jazz. It's called Later with Jools Holland, and the show, part of it was recorded for later on in the week, part of it was recorded live. It was broadcast out live at the time. But anyway, a woman in PR invited me along, and I went to check it out because there was this African act that was performing there. But anyway, during the night, I saw Eric Clapton. I saw basically I just saw all these really famous people, and Basement Jaxx was kind of the highlight of the night, mainly because back when I was still at university, I went to a gig by Basement Jaxx, and all of the sort of beats that they use, lots of them sound pretty Brazilian, and that was all what started thoughts in my mind about spending some time in Brazil. But anyway, this evening I got the chance to meet one of the guys from Basement Jaxx, hopped up and presented him with the magazine that I work for, which talks all about Brazilian culture here in the UK, and it's called JungleDrums. I don't know if I've told many of you about it, but basically I found a copy of this just before coming to Brazil, and as soon as I got back, I got in touch with them, asked if I could go and do some work experience there, and I've been there for 2.5 years now. It's a really good magazine, it's really good. Just right now, this moment defines a beautiful moment in what has been, the last 4 or 5 years for me, and how Brazil and how my experience there has changed my life so far. Basically, at university I came across this group known as AIESEC, and I realised that this could be a wonderful opportunity to go and spend some time abroad, go and discover more about myself, and go and realise what kind of direction I want to head in with my life. And I was envious of my brother's language. He speaks really good French. I wanted to learn a language. I didn't know much about Portuguese, but I was keen to give it a go. Spanish or Portuguese, something which is pretty different, sounds good. And basically, I applied to do, but eventually I got these emails and a bit of contact from Santa Maria, from a few people saying, you should come here, you should come and teach here, it'd be really good. And I didn't really have any preconceptions about what I wanted out of Brazil, but I liked the idea of going to a smaller city, not going to any big place where people already have an idea of what it's all about. And even though Santa Maria was the only option that really came up in my time that I was waiting and searching for things to do in Brazil, I was more than happy. It sounded great. And so I arrived in February or March of 2005 and spent a year there. First arrived at Gianna's house. I don't know if she's there right now. I think she's in São Paulo, but spent a few weeks living with a family there, and then moved on to Guilherme's house, Kiki, who was an absolutely fantastic guy. And I spent about 11 months teaching at Challenger Brasil, and it was a fantastic experience. I don't know if I did my research enough to know what the school was like, what the method that they used for teaching English was like, but had I known beforehand, I don't know if I would have been so intrigued by it, 'cause it's heavily repetition based and pretty monotonous at times, but there were ways in which I could weave enjoyment into the class and sort of good banter with the students and stuff, and set up different classes where we could discuss different vocabulary in order to expand the students' sort of knowledge and things, and that was really good. Met some fantastic people there, and my experience with AIESEC was really pretty cool. And basically the concept of AIESEC is just pretty much embedded in the way that I look at life, in terms of exchanging knowledge, experience, culture, and being able to share that with all sorts of different people, so that you have a better understanding of the world around you, the people around you, and that was I consider my time in Santa Maria as being essential to my development. The fact that I was living in another country, learning to sort of fend for myself to a certain degree was great. Learning a language was fantastic. Experiencing a different culture was very different. I was fascinated at how heavily influenced the South is by sort of Italian and Germanic culture. This is what all of you there are working towards, helping people to have these experiences and to share this wealth of knowledge. But an amazing experience, a year at Challenger, and then coming back to England shortly after that in 2006. Started working with JungleDrums in 2007, and my main drive for working at this magazine, which talks about Brazilian culture, Latin culture, African culture in London or the UK, my main desire was to keep in touch with this experience that I had, and to maintain and improve upon the level of language that I'd managed to acquire during my time there. And that's exactly what I've got. I've been there for 2.5 years now. It's crazy. Through this magazine I get incredible experiences that I just wouldn't have had in another walk of life. I've met crazy characters like Seu Jorge or Douglas da Silva, the guy from City of Men or City of God. And then again tonight, tonight's been a huge example of the kind of access to London, to the world, which Brazil has allowed me to get, and it's a kind of world that I'm fascinated by, sort of music, culture, dance, sport, everything. But how are we doing for time? I should probably wind it up pretty quick, because I'm probably rambling on a little bit. But you guys are celebrating 20 years of AIESEC Santa Maria, and that is a fantastic achievement. That's really good. For AIESEC to have kicked off sort of in the 50s or whenever it was, and for so many local committees to be springing up around the world for these crazy dances to be spreading through different conferences that people are having all around us. An amazing experience, and it's an amazing exchange of culture, of understanding. But so basically to say thank you very much for my experience there. I guess there are a few people in the room there that will remember me, and para quem vai estar em São Paulo em janeiro, eu vou estar lá. Vou chegar dia 6, eu vou voltar para a Inglaterra dia 30 de janeiro, então só me dá um toque. Não tenho Orkut, só Facebook, ou Milo Steelefox @gmail.com. But big respect and congratulations to you all, and valeu.